Hey everyone, and especially to my mom and dad and my immediate family in England. This is me, Chivalry for All, but you guys know my real name at home. Basically, things have been going pretty well for me. It's been a little bit quiet though. Uh, I've been keeping myself busy weeding, and I've been cooking up a storm, doing soups, stir fries, and I'm going to be making a pumpkin pie today, and I'm going to be vacuuming, of course. I hate vacuuming, absolutely hate it. Any kind of the chores when it comes to dusting, vacuuming, sweeping. I'm not a housemaid. I don't I can never be a housemaid. But anyways, things about me. Some of my interests, I love space. Anything that involves space, whether it's spaceships, whether it's futuristic stuff, whether it's video games, anything where it's about the future or about space, I'm absolutely thrilled. That's why I like the book Ender's Game. My also for interest is soccer, or as you guys call it, football. I love soccer. I've always been good at it. Even when I was a little kid, I was able to play very well, and I always pummeled James whenever he played soccer, although he became pretty good himself. But I remember at school slide tackling people and everything, and scoring a lot of goals, and it was a really big field actually, and it was all sand, so sometimes it got really messy during the summertime. What else? My favorite idols are Edgar Cayce and the Dalai Lama, and um, my favorite foods, well, it really depends on the day and kind of the circumstance. You know how sometimes you get the munchies for something, some particular thing? Well, it's kind of like that for me. And so sometimes I'll be in the craving for spaghetti. Other times I want steak, but that's kind of a rarity. I don't like steak too much generally, unless it's teriyaki steak. Then it's not too bad. Mix it up with some noodles and broccoli and carrots, thin slice, and you got a pretty good dish. I love soups. My favorite soup would probably be a vegetable soup. I make a killer vegetable soup. My secret ingredients people don't know about are olive oil. Yeah, olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil. Butter and Worcestershire sauce. The trick is you throw the olive oil and about this much thick of butter slice if you're doing a lot of vegetables like I do, and I do a lot of vegetables. And then you let that melt, then you throw in the onions and you caramelize the onions, and you throw in the carrots that you thin sliced on a mandolin or whatever. And then after stir frying that, then you throw in the zucchini, the squash, then you get the broccoli, then you get the cabbage, because cabbage is actually pretty important. Not too much cabbage, because then it gets overpowering, but just enough to add that extra taste to it. You can add beetroot to it. That works quite well, but I notice that it tastes better without it, but that's just my personal opinion. Then you get other vegetables like red cabbage. You can get even potatoes in there if you want. And you throw that all in. You stir fry it a little bit in the pot itself. Then you get about a quart of chicken broth, you pour it in, then you get a quart of water and you pour it in, and you let it boil for, say about 30 minutes, then you bring it down to a simmer for about another 30 minutes, kind of lengthy process. Then what you do is you take it over, you put it down, you get a blender, you half puree it or puree it full depending on your preference. Then you take that pureed stuff, you put it back on the stove, and you stir it up, wait till it gets to a simmer, then you pour a little bit of Worcestershire sauce to taste, a lot of salt, but not too much salt, and that's it. Really, that's all it takes. But you'd be surprised. You'd think olive oil would ruin it, but no, it doesn't. It's really good. And it seems like it's a long process, but it's really not. I mean, especially when you get the mandolin. The mandolin's like this little tray with a little blade right here on the side, and there's a little holder that's circular, and underneath has little spikes. And so you stick the carrot down, and you know, I'm sure you guys have probably seen that. It makes thin slices. It makes it go through a lot faster. The soup will cook quicker with it and everything. It saves time and energy, and it's a much more efficient way of cutting things. It's kind of like the equivalent of getting an egg slicer and getting your mushrooms and putting cutting the bottoms off the mushrooms and put the mushrooms in, and it's slicing the mushrooms with the egg slicer. It's another good tip. I was trained in culinary arts, so food is a big thing to me. And let's see, what else? I like to play video games. Halo's always been my icon. I played that since I've been 12. I stopped for 3 years, and I just got back on about a week ago. And God, do I suck right now. I mean, I'm not playing as near as good as I used to. But my weaknesses. Let's see. I can be hard-headed like my dad. I can be very stubborn, which is kind of a good thing at the same time because it makes me very direct and to the mission, what's at hand. But that kind of A-type personality can be against you. Let's see. Sometimes my motivation can be lacking. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I don't want to work out, I don't want to do this. So I guess that's kind of a weakness. Strengths, loyalty. That's the best thing about me, is my loyalty. Second is my loving. If you're on my side, I will treat you well. I will take care of you. I always have and I always will. Passion. I'm very passionate about what I do, and so it makes it so when I apply myself to things, it's easier to do, it's quicker to learn, and it's a lot more fun. So time goes by a little bit quicker for me. For a chore, even when it comes to ditch digging. Ironically, these things do not apply to vacuuming, sweeping, and other things like folding towels or laundry. Can't stand that stuff. But anyways, that's good enough for right now. I don't want to make too long of a video. But I hope you guys are having fun and doing well. I wish you all the best in England. And everybody else on YouTube, I wish you the best of luck. And you all take care now. Love you. Bye-bye.